Crayola Fall Colors by Mary Shu. Falling leaves, round pumpkins, crisp apples. Colors are everywhere in the fall. Explore color in the world around you. Leaves in fall. The air is cold. The wind blows colorful leaves all around. Fall is here. What colors do you see? Well, we can see this big, bright red farmhouse, and we can see the brown in the trees, and we can also see shades of yellow and orange among the leaves. We have some green here for green grass that hasn't yet turned to fall colors. But we can see inside of that green grass, we see tons of shades of yellow and orange for leaves that have fallen. In fall, green leaves change colors. They turn bright yellow, orange, and red. They turn deep purple and brown too. So as you can see, the leaves on the trees that used to be all green during the spring and the summer, they're now turning to yellow, orange, red, and even some purple and brown ones. Okay, so now we see this tree has almost completely changed to fall leaves. And if we look over here, we see some red leaves. We see some yellow leaves, some orange leaves. If you look deep enough, you can see some purple leaves, right? Have a little brownish color. But we can see that these leaves are changing. This leaf still has a lot of green left over, but we can see that it's changing to an orange leaf. Dry, crunchy leaves float to the ground. You can draw leaves. Try adding texture with small dots. So this is an outline of a leaf that the people at Crayola took their crayon and they made small dots. They use those small dots to color in their leaf. It adds texture. So what happens when you draw many dots close together? You see when there are small dots and they're all spread out, you can really see the white space, right? Kind of like on this side of the leaf. But as you draw them a little closer together, the color starts to fill in. And then if you draw them really close together, it starts to look like you colored the entire thing in. That's a crayon drawing trick. Soon, most trees are bare. And bare means empty. They're empty with nothing on them. Bright feathers stand out on the branches. So when the tree is bare and empty, there are no leaves to hide anything in the tree. So if there's a bird in the tree or another animal, you can see that animal or bird very quickly, especially if they have bright feathers that stand out against the bare branches. Some colors are bright. They stand out from dull colors. Dull colors are colors that are a little more boring and not as bright, a little darker. So here we have some bright colors. It says, which of these colors stand out to you? Well, first, that yellow just pops, right? Yellow is probably the brightest color in the world. And then there's orange color. And then there's that green and that red that are a little darker, but they still stand out next to the browns and grays. Preparing for winter. In fall, animals get ready for the snowy winter. Chipmunks gather red berries and brown nuts. And if you look at the picture, you can see that this chipmunk has a red berry in his hand, okay? Chipmunks are one of the few animals that gather food and supplies during the fall so that it can last them all winter. Knitted hats and scarves keep you warm in the fall. This young lady has on a pink knitted hat and scarf set. Knitted yarn has a pattern of straight and curved lines. We see some squiggly red lines here. We see some kind of up and down lines here, the blue ones. Kind of looks like when you're drawing a picture and you want to draw waves in the ocean, right? That's what kind of lines we have here. We have a green spiral, a kind of loose yellow wavy line. This orange over here, we're going to call that like a cross stitch, right? They kind of cross over each other. And then we have just a random purple squiggle. Kind of looks like we're coloring something in. It says, what kind of lines can you draw? Fall on the farm. Farmers harvest crops. Machines gather yellow corn and golden wheat from the fields. So if you look, you can see back here, right? You see the nice blue sky and you see these brown fields, right? That's the entire farm. They're green and then it kind of turns to brown. That's the entire farm. And this big orange machine is harvesting or gathering the crops that have grown. These crops are yellow corn and golden wheat, okay? And gold is a combination of yellow and orange, okay? So you see those colors mixing together, the yellows and oranges down here are the corn and wheat that the farmers harvested from the fields. Red apples are ripe and ready to be picked, one of Miss Powell's favorite parts of the fall. The bright sun makes shadows in the orchard. And as we can see, right, this is an apple orchard where the apples grow. A lot of people go apple picking and they pick these apples, the fresh, ripe apples, off of these apple trees in the orchard. And it's really easy to see these apples because their bright red color stands out next to the green of the leaves. Here's another crayon trick, right? Because this is a Crayola book. It says you can add shadows to a drawing. First, press down lightly with a crayon or colored pencil, right? Just like you can see at the right of these pictures, it's kind of light. Then you press harder. So as you go over to the left, you can start to press a little harder and then a little harder and then as hard as you can to get that darker color, right? And that adds a shadow. Fall fun. In fall, people celebrate Halloween with glowing orange jack-o'-lanterns. So these are some pictures, or this is a picture of some jack-o'-lanterns, right? And that's when people get the pumpkin, they carve it out, make it hollow on the inside. Hollow means that it's empty on the inside. And then they carve little faces. Sometimes they're scary faces. Sometimes they're funny faces. Sometimes people carve things that aren't faces at all. But they carve things out and then they put a little light or a candle inside so that it lights up and glows, okay? Orange is definitely a fall color. Halloween is a holiday that happens in the fall, and a lot of people associate orange or reds and browns, right? Yellows, those kind of fall leaves and Halloween colors with the fall. A lot of people also associate any kind of Halloween colors with the fall, right? Sometimes you have greens and oranges and purples because those are Halloween colors. You also have Thanksgiving colors. A lot of times you see people draw turkeys and they use reds and yellows and oranges. and browns, right? Those colors are associated with Thanksgiving, another fall holiday. It says, what colors do you use to celebrate fall? Now, this was a nonfiction book. Nonfiction means that it's a true story that's meant to teach you information or facts about something. Our story was about the colors of fall. In our nonfiction book, we have two very, very helpful pages. We have a page of different colors, colors that they used throughout the story, and we have a glossary. So it says, World of Colors. The world is filled with so many colors. Here are some Crayola crayon colors used in these books. Can you find them in the photos? What colors do you see in fall? And these are all colors that we came across during our reading. And on the right, we have a glossary. A glossary is a nonfiction text feature that serves as a mini dictionary for words that you might encounter in your reading. So these words are all words that we've read in this book. Dull, harvest, jack-o'-lantern, knitted, orchard, pattern, ripe, and texture.